What's up, everybody? It's Marco from Digital Dash. Thanks for joining me again for another video. And today I'm going to be bringing you guys a Bitcoin update. For the people who saw my last video, we talked about how Bitcoin was trending in this down channel here. And then yesterday, we actually broke down and broke out of that channel. And now we are trading between this $50,000 and $40,000 range. So make sure you guys stick to the end of the video. You feel me? All of that, let's get right into it. So looking at Bitcoin, like I just said, you feel me, this downward trend we were just in, we finally came and broke out of it. We sold off really aggressively yesterday. Shit was crazy. We went all the way down as low as 42,000, 41,000, 41,900. So a huge sell-off happened yesterday. Of course, the dip got bought immediately, but as soon as we sold out of this, highlighted in yellow, as soon as we broke out of this down channel and then broke below the $50,000 range, we immediately started dumping towards that $40,000 support. So the key now is if we're and as you guys can see today, we have 6 minutes left until Bitcoin closes and we're still under this $50,000 resistance here. So as long as we're under this $50,000 resistance, this is the area here we can expect to trade between, you feel me, these ranges here. Of course, we could break back above, you feel me, and start heading back up, or we could trade sideways for a while, which I'm kind of expecting for us to do is trade sideways for a while and maybe even break down and go lower, you feel me. If we go any lower than this $40,000 range, it can get super muddy. Only thing saving this is back down in $29,000 range. Pretty much what happened the last time we had our little dump. We were running and we had our little dump. That 29,000 kept us safe. You feel me? That 29,000 was super solid. So if we break down below this 40,000, we can expect to go and retest that 29,000. That's super steep. That's super extreme. You feel me? But anything can happen here. But with bulls looking as strong as they looked here when we came and fell below this 200 moving average and they bought it up immediately. Hopefully we won't get that low anymore. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we won't ever had to go see that 29,000 again. But if we break below that 40,000, that's definitely a possibility. So make sure you guys are moving as you should be moving when we get down there in that territory. What else with Bitcoin? So that's that's pretty much the key takeaway. Make sure you guys are watching this $50,000 range. Watch that heavy. We want to get back above it. And if we don't get back about that 51,000 and watch the $40,000 range. I do want to talk to you guys about, let me see if I can pull up the other Bitcoin chart here. One of my other charts. Okay, and here you guys can see I have goddamn time ranges here. So starting here from here, this was 121 days. This little section was 96 days. This little section was 112 days, right? So if we're looking back at history, we can see Bitcoin usually has cycles up to 120 days, right? At least 90. A lot of these cycles are at least 3-month cycles at least. You see, when we're here on our first bull run, and really you could start this, you could even take this all the way back to here for where we first started running. But you feel me, just for the sake of this video, I think I'm gonna leave it at like 121 when shit started actually getting aggressive. You know what I'm saying? We were running there for 121 days. Once the bull run ended, we went into a bear period for a couple months from April to July. So that 96 days there, we started running again. You know what I'm saying? When everything started reclaiming and we started getting bullish again, we reclaimed the 200. We weren't technically bullish again until we reclaimed the 200. So I guess let's say we're moving this. Let's say we're moving this in. You feel me? We got bullish there. Almost a 90-day period. You know what I'm saying? But really I'm gonna start it back here because this is where the rally started. In this case, it was 90-day period here. If we're counting this consolidation over here, before the downward move started happening, we can say it's 109 days. You know what I'm saying? So with this, we can at least see that Bitcoin is having at least 3-month cycles. So now that we've officially entered into this downward trend and we broke trend and things are looking bearish, if we're going into a bear market, we can expect to be here for at least 3 months, right? It could be as long as 3 months that we're in this territory. So that's what I wanted to talk about here from some stuff that we put in the chat. Another thing we noted before I get too far into this, another thing we noted is Solana was actually holding up pretty well while Bitcoin was dipping, right? So this is yesterday, and Solana was already trending down, right? So Solana has already been in this territory as low as it got yesterday. And Bitcoin on the other hand hasn't recently been in the territory that it dipped down to yesterday in that $41,000 range. So for Solana to actually not be taking a bigger hit, you know, with a dip like that, we could have saw Solana come down to 154 or something like that. That's something to note. You feel me? That's relative strength. Solana was looking really good compared to Bitcoin, even through the whole thing, right? So now that crypto actually did crash, you feel me? What can we expect, and how can we navigate through this? So I wanted to talk a little bit about crypto crashes and how to reestablish your position once you've taken your profit off, right? So hypothetically, let's just say you sold back here. You feel me? You got the best sell you possibly could, and you sold back here coming in all-time highs, or you sold back here and you're just on the sidelines waiting. Next thing you know, you saw crypto start going down and you're like, okay, I want to buy the dip. How should I go about doing this, right? So even if you sold here, wherever, it doesn't matter where you sold at. The point is just once you've taken profits, where exactly and how exactly do you plan on reestablishing your position and putting your profits back in to make you more money? So in this example, we've been downtrending for a while. So let's say you sold up here and you have that's $10,000, right? You got $10,000 to put back into Bitcoin. You feel me? You're talking about areas where you're gonna want to add, right? So personally, for me, I would use an indicator like the 50 pulling back to the 50-day moving average. So I'd probably buy a little bit right here, and you want to buy a little bit. So out of that 10 grand that you have, you may decide to add $500 here or $1,000 here at the 50 MA. And I'm saying understanding with the rationale that it could possibly bounce at the 50 MA and start going back up. You feel me? But the 50 MA or indicator like a moving average or some type of key level would not be a bad indicator to add to your position. So when you're getting your position back started and you're not holding anything, or you're scaling back into a position, make sure you guys are always starting small. There's nothing wrong with out of your 10,000 putting in $500 here, because it can always dip lower. You feel me? You always want to have money to buy the dip. You don't want to just, okay, we got to pull back to the 50 MA here. Let me throw in 10 grand. You feel me? You want to ease into this because nothing is certain in the market. You feel me? You may get a dip, but that doesn't mean it has to go back up right away. So this is how you prepare yourself and how you manage your risk, by managing how much size you're putting on at a given point in time. So once you dip there, you feel me? You could use your next indicator could be another key level, such as an area of support or another moving average, right? So in this case, we broke down below the 50 moving average, and the only other moving average that we have under us to add to would be the 200. You guys, you feel me? You guys may have a 100 moving average or whatever case, whatever you have on your chart. But for me, I would be looking for price to come back down to this this orangish reddish 200-day moving average before I started adding more, right? So yeah, I'm saying in this case, we could have added here at this white line acting as support, because that's a key level as well. We could have came and bought at support, and then when it dipped down to the 200-day moving average, we could have bought some more there. So we're in 500 here. We got even lower. Okay, it's looking better. We added another 2,500. It's looking really good. We dipped down to the red moving average. We added another 2,500. You feel me? And then we come down here to this $40,000 range. It's looking really, really nice and cheap in this range. You feel me? We added 2,500. You feel me? Until eventually you're all back in. You've accumulated the size you were looking to accumulate. You feel me? You're back $10,000 in, and you were able to add in increments. You feel me? You managed your risk on the way down. You didn't throw all your money in when there was space for it to dip, and you were strategic about how you reaccumulated your position. So whenever you guys take profits and you were buying the dip, you don't have to buy the dip all at once. Make sure you're strategic about the way you do it. You feel me? One more thing I wanted to talk about was the challenges of holding through the fear after you bought the dip, and ways to remain confident. You feel me? You got to have conviction. Like I said here, if Bitcoin is going through 3-month cycles, right? You guys can hold and go 3 months making profits. And every time you check your Bitcoin, oh, I'm up another day, that time's going to go by quick, right? That 3 months is going to go by quick of gains. When it's time to sell it, you got to be ready to make that decision. You can't freeze up. If you get an indicator to sell, then sell your shit. You feel me? Don't freeze up. You gotta act when in these markets. You have to act because the market's gonna go whether you act or not. So in this case, with these 3-month cycle here, when you buy down here, these pink circles were ads for me. These pink circles and this indicator here that says added. When you guys buy in these murky waters, you might not see gains right away. You have to be confident. You have to have conviction. You have to have, that long-term outlook on whatever the asset is that you're buying, because you could be holding this without, let's see, I added here and I had to hold this for another 35 days before I started seeing any returns on it, right? So when you guys are adding during the fear, when everybody else is scared, when you add down here and Bitcoin continues to go down even more, right? When you add right here at 36,000, it goes down even more. You have to have the confidence. You have to have the conviction to understand that you have to accumulate during bear cycles. You have to accumulate during times of fear. And when we get to those bull runs, when we get to those times of optimism, and we get to those times of greed, when we're running up here, you feel me? You're going to be a very happy person. You're going to be very glad that you accumulated and you bought against the fear when everything was looking crazy, when it was blood in the streets. You feel me? You came through and, you know what I'm saying, you made the decision that you had to make. So that's something that's a huge factor, right? People are expecting a lot of this stuff to just, go straight back up. And that's not going to be a case for a lot of this stuff. So you guys really, when you're accumulating Bitcoin, when you're in it for the long term, be patient, stay patient, be fearless. When it's looking crazy, when there's blood in the streets, make sure you guys are buying the dips, but make sure you're buying them the right way so you don't run out of capital. And you're strategic. We're strategic in everything that we do. So, of course, as always, guys, if you guys want to come join us in the Digital Dash, I post these little notes. I post in crypto. I send you guys stocks information. We have the Twitter feed here that has a bunch of updated news. So, of course, you guys can always come here and get the news. You guys can stay in the loop. You feel me? Give us your input. Let us know what stocks you guys are buying. Let us know what cryptos you guys are buying. You feel me? It's a great little vibe in here. We're all just trying to build. You know what I'm saying? If you guys were able to take something away from this video, make sure you leave a like. If there was anything I didn't cover in this video and you guys want me to make a future video about it, go ahead and leave a comment, and I'll comment down in the comment section. I'll get right on that. And hit the subscribe and hit the bell icon so you guys never miss a video. You guys know all the YouTube stuff. Thanks for joining me for another video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.